Hi, everyone. I think we'll get started. So this is Michelle Grimolia, the CEO of Woodland Pond, and today is Tuesday, August 4th. Before I get started on the update items that I wanted to talk about, I actually would like you all to just give a moment's thought to the weather at the moment. We are about to enter into the harshest part of the storm that's expected over the next 12 to 18 hours. 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. tonight is supposed to bring very heavy winds, torrential downpours. There is actually a tornado watch for our area at this time. So the most important thing for all of the independent living residents to remember at this point is you do not have emergency power, and we do not permit candles. They're very dangerous. So if you have a need for emergency power, for an oxygen concentrator, please make sure that your name is on the list for concierge, because we're going to have to figure out accommodations for you if we lose power overnight tonight. Also, after you're done watching this video, it won't be particularly long. Please find your flashlights and your lanterns. A lot of you bought the small lanterns that we sold last year. We recommended that you put them under your kitchen cabinet, your sink there. So take a look and see if you can find that, because you may very well need those tonight. Okay, so I wanted to get together today and talk about a few things. I am leaving for vacation first thing tomorrow morning and will be gone for a week. It is my intention to unplug completely. You know, the staff knows how to get in touch with me in the event of an emergency, but I'm not intending to be on email. I will not be in my office. I will not be checking voicemail. And then I will be back the following Thursday. So in addition to the reopening items that I wanted to talk about, I do just have a few housekeeping type items. First and foremost, and this is by no means a housekeeping item, Sarah is actually back to work. Some of you have asked for an update about how she's doing. Tomorrow, the 5th, will mark the 1-month anniversary of Joseph's passing and her ex-husband, Joe. Sarah had asked if she could return to work. She came in for a few hours last Friday and has been here yesterday and today as well working. She will herself be going away for a few days towards the end of this week, and then she'll be back at least Monday and Tuesday of next week. So, you know, certainly feel that you can stop in and see her, but she is back. She is having good days, although that's relative at this time, and pretty hard times as well. So she's feeling all of the emotions that, you know, I think go along with losing a child in such a manner, losing a child at all. So she's going to continue to appreciate all of your love and concern, but she is back with us, and will be resuming some of her normal activities. For Monday of this week, the 10th, there's going to be quite a bit, you know, going on. It's the first day of the new Spectrum bulk contract. And for those that have asked, you don't need to do anything at this point. It's our understanding that this is purely a billing change and not an operational issue. So we are not anticipating any operational changes. Excuse me. But if you do encounter any interruptions in either your cable or internet or phone service, if you have it with Spectrum, please contact the concierge. We will be working through the billing issues with Spectrum. There will be some information in the Chanticleer on Monday about, for those of you that have an auto pay for your bill for Spectrum, when you should cancel that, because all of the billing will be coming through Woodland Pond. That will be for cable and internet. Billing for Spectrum phone will come from Spectrum. You should have gotten the memo about that. If you are a Spectrum user or interested in utilizing Spectrum for either cable, internet, or phone, and you did not get that memo, please ask concierge for that, because this is a mandatory switchover that's happening on August 10th, and it's out of our control. So it's important for you to just be on the lookout for that. This Thursday is the shredding day. So I hope you're all compiling all of your shredding. I hope you all have gotten the list from concierge, what you do need to keep and what you don't need to keep. I hope we fill up that truck because we do not need all this paper in the building. If you are not going to be able to be here for the shredding on Thursday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., concierge is accepting your piles. We have a confidential shred bin here in the back of the office, and you can drop those items off and still have your items shredded on Thursday. And that is a complimentary service provided to us, funded by Mark Shane, who is a CPA across the road, but also a Woodland Pond board member. He does this once a year for those that are new to the community. You're going to see some increased information about enhanced resident screening. We are, as you know, we are screening residents participating in the pool and in the fitness room, as well as we will begin starting to screen folks that are utilizing the PAC. And starting next week when we resume Bridge, and that's going to be a big announcement, we're ready to start on Monday, but we are going to actually have a second screening staff person set up in the corridor between the classroom and the game room to screen all of the residents that are participating in committee meetings, activities, and the card games. So you will see some information about enhanced screening, but the idea behind all of this is that we really want to be screening and checking everyone that's participating in group activities, because this is going to help us contact trace if and when we do have a COVID case. So look for some more information on that. I mentioned Bridge briefly. I appreciate everyone's patience with Bridge. We have come up with another solution today, which got a blessing, a loud yes blessing from at least one Bridge player. I'd like to say thank you to the maintenance team, to Jason, to Gretchen, to Ronnie, to the residents that have participated in this. This is a challenge, and we're working through how to accomplish what we need to, but there is a possibility that the prototype that we're utilizing for Bridge could be modified to allow us to resume alfresco dining. It's slightly impersonal and does include some use of plexiglass, but we're looking at different ways that we can potentially allow for that alfresco dining to resume, because I know that a number of you have indicated that that's a desire of yours. So we're looking at some of those. The Bridge details will be announced. Hopefully, Gretchen's going to put these together in a memo, but essentially, we're going to be able to accommodate 3 Bridge tables per day, Monday through Friday, up to 4 players at each table. Those games will start at 1 p.m. and you'll be able to play for the afternoon. We will have a dealer assigned. It will be the same staff member that is screening you. And we purchased 180 decks of cards so that they can be safely utilized throughout the week, and then sit for the standard sanitation period and reutilized the following week. So we're excited about this, and we will get some information out about that. We are limited in terms of the availability of the classroom due to the need for our staff to be here to be able to disinfect between meetings. And we do understand that all of the committees have not been able to have their normal committee schedule. But it's a new normal now. So we have to work with what we have, and we appreciate your patience. Right now it's very important that the committees get back to work. We have community business that needs to be attended to. We are looking at expanding the hours of availability in the classroom, but we are condensing what was being accomplished in 4 or 5 different spaces in a single space because of the air handling system in the classroom and the ability to safely disinfect it. So we do appreciate your patience and ask that you continue to have that patience as we go forward. And one other thing that you will see in the Chanticleer next week is we will be adding fitness center and pool hours on Saturdays and Sundays, starting not this weekend, but the following weekend, on the weekend of the 15th. The dates and times are still being worked out, but we will be adding, again, fitness and pool hours on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's exciting. So the real reason that I wanted to talk to you all today, and I have drafted a memo, it will print after we are done here. I was hoping to have it to you prior. But my day has just been busy getting ready for vacation and focusing on bridge. So I did prepare a memo. I'm not going to read it word for word, but I do just want to kind of go over the basics here. So it was 2 weeks and 2 days ago that we resumed reopening activities. So that includes the pool, the fitness center, committee meetings, certain activities, and of course visits. Visits being, I think, the most exciting to some of you, but also to us, the most risky and most concerning aspect of our current phase of reopening. Of course, bridge and other card games and things, which we have not identified any other safe to play card games or table games at this point, because our understanding is that game pieces and cards get shared in all other games. But I digress. Those are all the things that kind of are giving us, pause and cause for concern. So all of the things that we felt somewhat comfortable with offering have resumed. And in addition to resuming a lot of those activities, we also have now announced to you that all staff, including all independent living only staff, are being tested for COVID once per week. And we have now expanded that to mandatory COVID testing once per week for all approved companions in independent living. We were able to secure access to testing for those folks at no cost to them. It happens right here on campus. We're offering that testing 4 days a week, and we will be making arrangements for weekend staff as well. We really need to have these folks tested, because they're really doing hands-on, close contact care. Many of our companions are working with more than one of you. It's a significant risk, and I'm thrilled that we're able to offer this testing to them at no cost, but it is mandatory. And so while the companions do not have to wait to get their result to be able to work, they do have to get tested once per week. And once we get through the initial week or two of this, we're going to have a notification system put into place to remind people of their testing due date. But if you could just reiterate to your private duty companions that must happen. Today is a clinic. It's going until 4:30. It's a walk-in. You can go to the art studio and have your test done. Next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the clinic will be available from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. again at the art studio. And on Tuesday from 6:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. The concierge has all this information. This is just incredibly important to us so that we know and can be sure that, our staff doesn't, or the companions are not carrying COVID and inadvertently bringing it onto campus. So how has the reopening gone? Generally, with the exception of some that are, hoping to, sign up for things quite far in advance, book long sessions of things, we kind of have to work through the fact that we have limited capability. And so you've all started to kind of be very patient with and understanding that we can't book things super far in advance. We can't monopolize our spaces. Everyone's got to just, take advantage of the times that we can offer. Everybody's been great about that. So I think by and large, the general reopening has been going relatively smoothly, and I'm going to knock on wood. But there is one area that has caused us great concern, and that is related to the visits from outdoor or outside visitors. I'm also very concerned about resident-to-resident visits, but right now I'm going to focus on the concerns related to visits from the outside. So we've been offering 15 visits per day, allowing you to visit with your loved ones that have been pre-screened, have answered a safety questionnaire, have not traveled to travel advisory states, and have passed our screening. You've been permitted to visit with them up to 3 hours in a particular visit outdoors here on campus at a location of your choosing. Each visitor, resident and the visitor from the outside, have been instructed as to the safety protocols that we have instituted for these visits. Immediate hand washing upon arrival for the visit, the screening. You must wear a mask covering your mouth and nose at all times. You must keep 6 feet distance between you, no eating and drinking. and the visit must take place outdoors. Unfortunately, and the reason for our discussion today in my memo is we have seen daily, if not more than one time daily, violations of the safety protocols that we have asked of all of you, and which each guest has actually signed their name saying that they agree to. And you'll see in my memo, I give 5 or 6 examples of very specific instances, either observed by me, observed by my staff, or actually, and this is what shocks me the most, residents or visitors that have self-reported to me a violation of one sort or another, kind of either saying it to me tongue-in-cheek or thinking it's no big deal. And as you'll see in my memo, and I will read this one line, each and every one of these instances causes immediate risk to this community. Each and every one of these instances causes immediate risk to this community. We have absolutely no ability to assess the COVID status of a visitor to this campus. We don't have an ability to assess the COVID status of our residents. We do have the ability to assess the COVID status of our staff because we can test, and now the companions because we can test. But the two parties that are participating in the visitors from outside are the residents that we don't know the status of, and the folks from the outside that we don't know the status of. So to protect this community and all of our people, we have asked that everyone follow those basic guidelines. And it's not surprising to me because I know how hard all of this is. I see it and I feel it every day. We fall back into old habits. We miss our loved ones. We just so want to go into the old habits and the old patterns and the old routines. But without having the ability to safely test or adequately test or to know the status of the people that are visiting, those safety parameters absolutely have to be followed 100% of the time in order for these visits to be able to continue. So through the end of last week, my team collected the various observations. We all thought about it over the weekend. We had many discussions, have contemplated what our next steps are going to be. I know how important these visits are to everyone. I completely understand. I know that your hearts are filled with joy through these visits, and I do not want to take them away. So what we have decided is that we will be going to a 2-week on, 2-week off visiting schedule until further notice. So starting this Sunday, August 9th, we'll begin a 2-week period of no visits, meaning that if you have a visit scheduled right now with an outside visitor, that visit should be canceled. Concierge will be canceling all those visits. Visitors will not be accepted from the 2 weeks starting this Sunday. You may continue to visit with your Woodland Pond neighbors. Please wear your masks. Please, please keep 6 feet distance. Please do not eat or drink anything. Please visit outside. Please. We know you need these visits. As I was putting this memo together, a resident contacted me and said, Michelle, I just learned my friend is in a CCRC. They made it this far without COVID on their campus. They opened up their outside visiting program, and essentially overnight, they had 17 cases of COVID or more. They're still assessing it, and at least 5 deaths to date. We cannot let this be our story. We have to protect this community. A sip of a lemonade, a slice of pizza, a cookie from your daughter is not worth the risk to the health of the residents of this community, our staff, our households. This is too important. We've come too far. Please, please, when you have your visits, please follow the safety parameters that we've put in place. We will get through this. I'm confident that everyone wants to do the right thing. If you have questions about what's necessary, we will give you a copy of the tip sheet. We're going to ask you to share this with your families. I'm going to issue this memo to all residents and their families. Please share it. So we will be a 2-week on, 2-week off until further notice, the purpose of which being that we're going to have gradual visiting, and then we'll have a pause period to assure that no virus is on campus. This will happen simultaneously now with enhanced independent living staff testing, enhanced companion testing, and we will also be limiting the number of visits per day from 15 down to 10 to somewhat slow the traffic on campus. This model should allow us to safely, knocking on wood, continue these visits. We need your cooperation, please. Please, please do not let us be the community that had no COVID and the next week or, several days later, I started seeing, cases more than a dozen and deaths. That cannot be our story. Please, please help us with this. We are an amazing community. We've got this. We have to put our hearts first and protect ourselves. I'll miss you all while I'm on vacation, and I will see you when I get back. Bye.